What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? Y'all know who it is. It is your boy Darion coming to you live with another video. It is a Spotlight Sports Talk Silver and Black podcast, and AKA Rum Boys Philly. Thank y'all for tuning in into another show with us today with another recap of the Oakland Raiders versus the Arizona Cardinals. Thanks for everybody that been tuning in into the live streams on Sportscaster. I really do appreciate everyone being here and being a part of the Spotlight Sports Talk, aka Rum Boys Philly. Now, this is a recap of last night's game. Y'all know I live streamed the game all the way up to the third quarter of the Oakland Raiders in the Arizona Cardinals, and you see the final on top of your screen, 33-26. But I do want to get into a lot of the recap and what we saw last night from week 2 of the Oakland Raiders. So definitely tune in. You do not want to miss this decent recap. Now, what we learned from Thursday night's game of the Oakland Raiders and Arizona Cardinals is that it was growing pains in paradise for Kyler Murray. Second preseason game was not nearly as efficient as his first. The first 4 drives, Murray only gained just 12 yards and failed to pick up a first down without help from the penalties and as many punts that the Cardinals had to do. So Murray showed his inexperience in taking a sack, 1 of 2 deep in Arizona's territory after the safety in his final series. Making matters worse, that Arizona was flag happy in committing 6 offensive penalties on Murray's drives, and 3 of them were pre-snap. Now, my reasoning for that is that you have to think about it. When he do this and he claps, that's a college air raid type of hike. And you can't really do that in the pros, in my personal opinion. You really can't do that in the pros, because I feel like when you do that in the pros and you try to make that clap each and every time while you at the pre-snap, it's going to make the offense jump because you're clapping. So with that being said, it's going to look really different when you have an offensive line that really don't know what that clap means, especially when they've been playing in this league for long periods of time, especially with the first team offense. So that's definitely something that Arizona has to clean up as well. But, 6 offensive penalties is definitely not that great at all. It's definitely not that great. But obviously, from the outside looking in, it was a little disappointing, to Murray. They told ESPN Lisa Salters during the game at the same time. We all know the importance of this only preseason. Really, the vanilla right now, and we're not doing everything that we want, but it is what it is because it's preseason. I mean, Kyler Murray was flying high, and he had one flawless preseason drive last week, but the number 1 overall pick came back to the desert in his first extended professional experience. And I have to say, the marvel of the majesty of Mike Glennon for the Oakland Raiders was a revenge game. Now, Oakland's most impressive drive was the first one of the evening when the Raiders, in the first preseason with Derrick Carrier at the helm, and weapons was definitely disposable. The Oakland's QB1 connected with Tyrell Williams for a pretty 27-yard pass down the sideline with Ryan Grant on a 13-yard TD toss in the first drive of the preseason with Derrick Carr and the Oakland Raiders. Now, rookie running back Josh Jacobs broke 4 strong runs for 21 yards. It took over 3 minutes on that Thursday night for Oakland to hard knock off the bad vibes of last weekend's Antonio Brown's drama. Now, what I can say with the Oakland Raiders is that I can feel that the Oakland Raiders is doing really well on the offense. And the only reason why I would say that, I'm going to pull up some stats. I am going to pull up some stats and see what we could do and see what we could show y'all what actually happened in this game, because this game was pretty crucial. It was pretty blown out by the first half. Pretty blown out. It was like 26-0 in the first quarter. It just wasn't our best game. I mean, it wasn't the Cardinals' best game at all. So I definitely want to pull up the stats and pull up the final and see, what happened here, because our first quarter, we had 6 plays for 61 yards and our total time was 309 minutes. That was our first quarter drives. Like, we had a touchdown, we had a field goal, we had a touchdown. This is all in the fourth. We was up 24-0 in the first quarter. And then it comes to the second quarter where we punt and Arizona scores a touchdown. But at the same time, they had Hundley in the game. So Hundley was playing really well as well. I can't lie. Hundley played really well. He played really good last night. And that was the end of the half. But I just feel like the first half for the Oakland Raiders, we just dominated on both sides of the ball. We dominated both sides of the ball. Nobody could really tell us nothing at that time. Nobody couldn't tell the Raiders anything at that time. And I really love what we had going on with the Oakland Raiders. I really loved it. So let's just get straight into the stats, because I want to get into the stats and I want to get into what we did here. And Derrick Carr came in. He was 2 for 2 for 40 yards and a touchdown. But it was an impressive drive. The only reason why he was 2 for 2, because, he had a lot of running backs. He had Josh Jacobs running the football, and that was really what impressed me today. And then that throw to Ty Williams was definitely great. It was definitely great to see what happened. So Derrick Carr was 2 for 2 for 40 yards. And then you had Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon is the player of the game for me today. I can say that Mike Glennon was 11 for 14, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the guy was just making completion after completion. He was moving it. He was spreading the ball around to Dawes, to Aitman, to Renfro, down to the running backs of the Washington and Richard and Mac Brown and Butler. It was so many people that was involved in this offense with the Oakland Raiders. It looked really good. And I was really surprised about what I saw with the Oakland Raiders and how efficient and how fluid they was on offense. Mind you, this is only a preseason game. It's only a preseason game, but at the same time, we have to give credit where credit is due. We looked really good in the first half. We really did. We looked really good in the first half. Second half wasn't really much, because if you see the score, it's 33-26. But at the same time, I really love what my Raiders did. So let's get into the running back play. The running back plays, the rushing, and see how that was spread around as well. So as of right now, you had Josh Jacobs. He had 4 carries for 21 yards. He was averaging 5.3 yards a carry. He did not get a touchdown. Then you had James Butler. With 8 carries, 32 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry. Then you had Mac Brown with 8 carries for 27 yards and a touchdown, averaging 3.4 yards a carry. Then you had DeAndre Washington, 8 carries for 17 yards and 2.1 yards a carry. You had Jalen Richard, 6 carries for 13 yards and 2.2 yards a carry. Then you had Nathan Peterman, our quarterback, Nathan Peterman. He had 3 carries, 13 yards, averaged 4.3 yards a carry. Doug Martin only had 2 carries in this game, and Mike Glennon only tried to run for it, but he ended up being sacked in there. In the receiving core, I really love what I saw out of all of our receivers. That was something that I wanted to see there, as far as wide receivers go, because we didn't really have any wide receivers going into last year. Last year was really bad for us when it came down to getting that. How can I say it? Getting the ball out. We didn't have no deep threat. Jordy Nelson was old. He ended up retiring now, and now we have Tyrell Williams, Antonio Brown, Dawes, Aitman, Renfro. Like, we did have a nice little wide receiver core in this Arizona game. So Keelan Dawes had 5 targets. Actually, yeah, he had 5 targets, 5 receptions, and 38 yards. Rico Gafford had 1 reception for 53 yards and a touchdown, and that was the deep bomb in the first half for Rico Gafford to get that touchdown by Mike Glennon as well. And then you had DeAndre Washington with 1 reception. You had Tyrell Williams with 1 reception for 27 yards, and that was from Derrick Carr. And that was like a back shoulder throw where Tyrell Williams really looked it well. He really looked good at that time, and I loved it. I loved every single bit of it. Hunter Renfro only had 2 receptions for 26 yards, but we did see the explosiveness of Hunter Renfro after the catch as well. So looking at him and seeing what he could do for us with Derrick Carr at the helm, it's going to be epic. It's really going to be epic. You had DeMonte Pearson-L with 2 receptions at 18 yards. Marcel Aitman, which was one reception for 14 yards. Ryan Grant 1 reception for 13 yards and a touchdown. Then you had Derrick Carrier. Derrick Carrier, we're definitely going to get into him in the rest of the show as well. We're going to get into him as well. Derrick Carrier, two receptions for 9 yards on 2 targets. Keon Hatcher, 1 reception for 8 yards. Darian Waller, 1 reception for 7 yards. Luke Wilson, 1 reception for 4 yards. Jalen Richard, 1 reception for 3 yards. And Alec Ingle, 1 reception for 1 yard. That we do have we don't have any interceptions in this game, and I would love to have interceptions in this game on the defensive side of the football. I would love to see it. I would love to see what we could do for this see what we can do on the defensive side of things. Let's see what we saw here. So we had Curtis Riley, Joshua Hosley, and Dalen Levitt. They was the only 3 that had like pass deflections or anything of that nature, but we did not have any interceptions in this game. But we did have a lot of tackling. We had a lot of people getting to the ball. Now, defensively, Vontaze Burfict was definitely him and Brandon Marshall and Tahir Whitehead. Those 3 them 3 linebackers played so well last night. They was running to the ball. They didn't let anything outside. Even when the first team offense was out there for the Arizona Cardinals, we just looked really stout up front as well with Cleveland Farrell. Farrell played really well last night. We're definitely going to get into his breakdown as well. But I can say for the Oakland Raiders, all the way around we played all the way around. I would give our performance honestly, I'll give our performance like a B. And the reason why I will say that because of the second half, we let them come back in the game. And I know it's understanding that it's like 3rd and 4th string players are playing, but you still have to dominate to a high level if you still want to make this football team. That's just my personal opinion on that as well. So me personally, I really want to get into the breakdown of this, like, because our QB strong play is the reason why we actually won this game, because our QB strong play was really, really great, and I can't even be mad at it. And we continued our winning ways on Thursday night, hitting the road, and we dominated the Arizona Cardinals in the desert. Oakland Raiders ran past their preseason record, going 2-0 on Thursday night, easily dispatching the Arizona Cardinals on the road, with Derrick Carr getting the party started early, leading the team to a second opening drive touchdown in the preseason. The Raiders did not look back. It looked extremely fast on offense and on defense. Now, rookie defensive end Cleveland Farrell was a monster all night long, putting pressure on Kyler Murray and the Cardinals offense. Besides being a pass rushing beast, he's learning patience as well as he's virtual when he plays against shifty quarterbacks. Now, the fellow rookie Jonathan Abram played very well while he had some rookie bumps at times. But he did have a nice one-on-one tackle against the running back David Johnson. And he has some work to do in terms of his overall skill set, but he's going to be a special player on our defense. And staying in the secondary with LaMarcus Joyner, the veteran status shown that the mid-second quarter, Joyner blitzed and forced the safety as he used his body to prevent the quarterback from running. While Joyner played well, Garyon Conley was pedestrian game, and Eric Harris and Nick Nelson allowed bad touchdowns in the second quarter. But overall, the defense was very patient and played very well in the first half. Now, the offense definitely was roughly about this game, but the offensive line played well even without Gabe Jackson. And one thing to note, and I do have to say this, that one of the first plays from scrimmage from Richie Incognito pancaked the defensive tackle, and he's a monster blocker. And Josh Jacobs looked great on the first series. It looked like he's pro ready. Hunter Renfrow looked like awesome on a few plays as he played the slot mostly throughout the game and showed his shiftiness. There was a short screen where he looked like a replica of Wes Welker in 2013 with New England. Another star to look at the tight end, Derrick Carrier, as well. He caught a touchdown for a few passes in traffic while catching two first down catches as well. He also ran a perfect fade route for a touchdown in the corner. He listed the second depth that I don't see sitting if he keeps playing the way he played tonight. Staying in the passing game, undrafted rookie Keelan Doss once again proved that he's deserving a roster spot for this summer. Now, the first play in the Raiders territory, the Cardinals wasn't until the 4-minute mark left in the second quarter, and the defense played extremely well, and the defensive line in particular played the best. But what I can say, looking at this team, the overall speed much improved and have been surprisingly dominant early in the preseason. I really love where we're going with this. I really love the way that we're playing in this preseason. Understanding none of this don't really count, but we really need to see what the rookies are really looking at. So here are my 3 stars of the Arizona game and the Oakland Raiders game. These are my three stars. 3 stars. So let's get straight into them. And number 1 on my list is Derrick Carrier. Derrick Carrier may be listed as the number 2 tight end on the Oakland's depth chart, but played extremely well on Thursday night. He only caught 2 passes for 9 yards, but did run a perfect route for his touchdown grab. Carrier, who blocks well and got the push on Terrell Suggs on an off-tackle run by DeAndre Washington. Number 2 on my list. Number 2 star of this was Clelin Ferrell. The 4th overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft really showed what he could do in this game. He rushed the quarterback well and really played like a pro. He showed his patience, his poise, playing against a shifty quarterback in Kyler Murray. The Raiders got one of the best defensive players in the draft, and for a great price, it is going to wreak havoc on offensive lines in the future. Number 3 is Mike Glennon. Now, Mike Glennon, the Oakland Raiders, got solid play out of their quarterbacks Thursday night, where Mike Glennon may just have locked himself the number 2 signal caller behind Derek Carr. Coming off a game where he had 2 interceptions, Mike Glennon was 11 for 14, 175 yards, while connecting on 2 touchdowns. Now, Nathan Pennerin played well in a relief of Glennon, but this battle could have gone down to the wire. Now we want to look ahead in going into week 3 of this Raiders and Packers game as well, but the Raiders technically play at home against Green Bay next Thursday night, which looked to be a good game since it's historically his third preseason game, and with the starters most likely going to play more time with the starters. This game is going to be played in Canada at the Investors Group Field in Winnipeg, in Canada. Seeing how well the first team defense played against a rookie quarterback, I want to see them really take one step further, playing against one of the best NFL history, one of the best quarterbacks in NFL, one of the best NFL quarterbacks in NFL history, in Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is one of the best at extending plays. It will help the Raiders gauge, while Abram and Ferrell definitely will get their development. So the rookies are developing at a solid pace, and having a player like Joyner will help change the culture of this defense. Arden Key and Maurice Hurst played well on Thursday night, bolstering and improving the defensive line, while the offensive line stepped up without Gabe Jackson in the starting lineup. Now I love this game. Now we got to get ready. We got to get ready for the Green Bay Packers. Understanding that Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to see them in the regular season this year as well. So I would love to see what we could do against an Aaron Rodgers, a Jimmy Graham, and a Devontae Adams. They are what I really want to see in this game. But this is my actual recap of the Oakland Raiders versus the Arizona Cardinals. And y'all see the score: Oakland Raiders 33, Arizona Cardinals 26. I want to thank everybody for tuning in into this epic recap, but we will be doing more recaps like this as well. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. It is a Spotlight Sports Talk, aka Rum Boys Philly, aka the Silver and Black Podcast. Please definitely go and subscribe to us and become a fan of us as well. And I want to shout out to everybody that came into the chat, because there wasn't that many people in the chat today. So shout out to King Christian's Podcast for coming in. Shout out to Coach for coming in. And shout out to New England Superfan for coming in. I don't like the New England Patriots. So with that being said, that's another story for another time. But until then, I thank y'all for tuning in and enjoy yourself. And I see y'all in the next live stream. Peace.